Welcome to episode 102 of the ABC GCI Coffee Break podcast. My name is Allison Jackson, joined by Mike Maloney. This week we're sponsored by, this month we're sponsored by Kojo, and our lightning round sponsor is Gould Construction Institute. Mike, tell us a little bit about our sponsors this month.
This week, our guest is going to be Ryan Gaiss from Kojo, so we're happy to have him on. But for those who don't know, Kojo is an all-in-one system for contractors to handle all of their material inventory needs, and it is their mission to make it faster, easier, and more sustainable to build the world around us. Ryan will go into the 7 steps of receiving product. It was a great conversation. It was nice just getting to know him a little bit, and we'll hear from him. And we're also lightning round sponsored by the Gould Construction Institute. Allison and I are lucky to be working for Gould Construction Institute. Mm-hmm. Got my read here. Been on since 1983, and they are the education and training affiliate for the ABC Massachusetts. And they also are powerful allies with building mass careers. And GCI can handle all your skilled trades training, as well as non-licensed trades, safety, first aid, anything related to training we can do for you. So we're happy to have GCI as our lightning round and Kojo as a presenting sponsor. And this week's Stump the Squad, and let's see if I can see my screen here for a second. You can see I'm in my winter wonderland of my house here at Christmas time. I'm proud to announce that I did build these shells on the side of my fireplace.
From the Amazon package that was delivered with the instructions
I built them.
and the pieces?
I cut the wood down myself, milled it out of raw wood. I did not. I bought
cut down from your trees outside.
I did build those shells, not from a kit. I built them myself.
Impressive.
And they're still standing, if you can believe. I thought for sure day one would be
for now
crashed on the ground, but we need some shells on the side of the fireplace, so we did that. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah to everybody out there. This week's Stump the Squad, I had to dig deep because every time I try to stump Allison, I can't do it. But this week, I think I'm gonna do it. And this week's theme is going to be quotes from Christmas movies. I'll give you the quote. You tell me what movie it's from. Okay. The first one is going to be. I can't make it. Don't make it too hard, right? Gonna make it something. I think. The first one is going to be. The quote is: "A toy is never truly happy until it is loved by a child."
The Island of Misfit Toys.
Woo-hoo! 1-0. Let's see what else here. I'm like 1-0. All right, maybe I made it too easy. I think I made it tough, but I think I made it. We'll get tougher. We'll have to dig deeper now. Tougher.
We'll see. I'm waiting.
See here. Here's a good one. Nobody's walking out on this fun old-fashioned family Christmas.
Is it National Lampoon?
Can you get the correct title of the movie, please?
National Lampoon's Family Vacation. National Lampoon Christmas.
So we'll give it to you. Christmas Vacation, correct. 2-0. All right, I'm making it too easy. I gotta dig deeper.
I just call it National Lampoon. I don't ever say the whole name out.
That one's gonna be too easy. All right, here's a good one. This is a tough one. Mm-hmm. Isn't there anyone who knows what Christmas is all about? I got you.
No, I can wait. Say it again.
Isn't there anyone who knows what Christmas is all about? It's an older. I'll give you. It's a cartoon.
What, like one of the old Scrooge ones?
Is that your final answer? Give it to you one more time. Give the quote. The quote is: "Isn't there anyone who knows what Christmas is all about?" I got her.
Yeah, is it the what are they called? The past, the present, and the future. The ghosts of the past, the present, and the future.
Is that your final answer? I need an answer.
Well, you said cartoon. I was thinking It's a Wonderful Life at first. Yeah, I'll go with this. What is the name of it? It's like on the tip of A Christmas Carol.
It is incorrect. It is A Charlie Brown Christmas.
Oh.
You ever seen it?
I've seen it. It's not my go-to. I like the more like the old school, like the Franken Bass ones. You know, the like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer where it's like a puppet and those like that, how the Island of Misfit Toys is.
So this is Charlie Brown Christmas is no longer on like cable television because Apple bought the rights to it, and it's only Apple Plus or Apple TV. So
All
you won't
right.
see it.
Well, oh, I do have Apple TV, but
Yeah. All right, so it's 2-1. Question number four now is going to be: there's a certain magic that comes with the very first snow. But when the first snow is also a Christmas snow, well, something wonderful is bound to happen.
or is it that one? Not the year without a Santa Claus, the one that the young Saint Nicholas, where he has like red hair and a beard. Give it to me one more time. This is hard. Sorry for everyone
All right.
listening.
There's a certain magic that comes with the very first snow. For when the first snow is also a Christmas snow, well, something wonderful is bound to happen. Need an answer. Need an answer.
I don't know. Miracle on 34th Street.
A great guess, but it's going to be Frosty the Snowman.
Oh, yeah, that's Frosty saying that, isn't it? Oh, no, who said that? I have to catch up on my movies.
Yeah, I got to find. Yeah, let's get that one. That's a two.
Something wonderful. No, because they were saying it because the Christmas snow made in the Magic in the Hat made Frosty. So somebody said that before Frosty was created.
All right, here we go. Number five. You need this one. It's tied 2-2 tonight. We're doing five here, so you need this one to win. Just remember, the true spirit of Christmas lies in your heart. Christmas version of Stump the Squad. Is it possible? Is it possible? I've stumped her.
Say it again.
Go back to that page. Just remember, the true spirit of Christmas lies in your heart.
It sounds like something from The Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
Final answer? Your final guess for Stump the Squad? Is that it? You going with that?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with it.
That is incorrect. That's the Polar Express. I've done it. I've stumped the squad for the first time ever. So I'll give you a bonus one.
For the first time ever of
Ever.
twice.
Oh, usually I get destroyed.
That
Usually
is
I'm
true.
getting, usually I'm getting
I
whooped.
didn't get destroyed though. I came
No,
off
I didn't
one
destroy you.
point.
No, I'm taking a win's a win. I didn't. Usually it's you beat me 5-0 before a couple times.
Yes, I have. So I
Uh,
think I gave a hard fight, but congrats. But yeah, give me a bonus one.
Bonus one is every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
Oh,
Every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings. I'll give you a hint. It's a little girl says it to her father. An old movie, very old. It's about a man that wishes he wasn't never born. Man that wishes he was never born. An angel trying to get his wings gives him that wish and shows him what his life would be if he was never born. And all the lives that he affected. At the very end,
is that It's a Wonderful Life?
correct. Bonus question. All right.
That's like I
Mike,
had a I had a TV in my room when I was really little, like one of those really small, like not even like 12 by 12 with a VCR built in, mounted in the corner. And when I would fall asleep on Christmas, I would fall asleep with the TV on, and I'd always like wake up in the middle of the night to the sound of like there's like a really dramatic part where he's like running around in the snow and
yep.
he's like, and like the music would get really loud, and I would like wake up out of a dead sleep because it would be so chaotic.
That
And
movie
then
is like 3 hours long, first of all.
yeah,
It's in like the first 2 hours and 15 minutes are all building up to like the last 45 minutes of him when the angel makes it so he's not born and all the lives that he touched and his brother, how his brother, he wasn't there to save his brother as when he was a kid. I mean, real quick before we move on, but favorite Christmas movie has got to be, I'm Wonderful Life was one of mine. What about you? Favorite best Christmas movie? And you said you're an elf person.
So this was a poll actually this week on the GCI
Yeah.
training email. And so if you're not on the training email, get on the training email. Those polls are so fun. But we put a bunch of them out. What was the one that I said won? I
Was
forget,
it
but
was it Elf? The Elf did win?
Elf was second. Elf came in second. Um, my favorite Christmas movie, I mean, my go-to is always The Grinch, just because it's like, but like the Jim Carrey version. It's just like a classic. It's just so good. But then I don't know, there's something about The Year Without a Santa Claus. It's very nostalgic. It's very
Heat Miser, Snow Miser. There.
it's really because of them. They're my favorite. I love the Heat Miser. I love the Cold Miser. Um, it just brings you back to childhood. And then we have two boys in the house, little boys in the house. So like it's fun to like watch that stuff with them and kind of see them react to it. And I mean, half the time they think the old stuff is like stupid because it's not,
Yeah.
you know, shot in 4K like it is
Yeah.
now. But you know, I love it. And sometimes you can get them in a mood where we're drinking hot chocolate and they're enjoying it. But I don't know. There's something about those older movies with like the crazy puppets that like are kind of like glitching out at certain points. Like I love those ones.
All right, so here we go. We are episode 102. We're moving right along. We got Ryan Gaiss from Kojo. Let's hear it from him. We are proud to welcome our presenting sponsor for the month of December here. This is Ryan Gaiss, the account executive from Kojo. Welcome to the podcast.
Michael, thank you for having me.
And I appreciate Ryan coming on because we've been to a few events together and bumped into each other a bunch of times, and we keep saying we're going to be on, we're going to be on. And your Kojo was gracious enough to sponsor for the month, be the presenting sponsor. So we're very excited about that. But to have you on is great as a new member. We're glad you're here. So why don't you tell us a bit about yourself and what your company does?
Yeah. Well, thank you again, Michael, for having me. And you should know this is actually my first podcast ever that I'm doing. So here we go. Yeah. So my background is in construction. So you're right out of college. I went to the University of Michigan, studied civil engineering. Had the opportunity to work for a local contractor in Massachusetts called, well, everyone should know them, Consigli. And kind of did the project management path, you know, when you're a project engineer to assistant project manager to, you know, running some pretty complex projects over there. They really gave me like a ton of responsibility pretty early on, and I had a ton of like really great mentors. And yeah, so you know, I was very passionate with just new technologies in the industry. And I think like right now is such like an exciting time for the industry because there are so many like very cool solutions that have like real world impacts to contractors that can save them time and save them a ton of money. And while I was at Consigli, I was very passionate with pushing new technologies over there, at least testing them out. And got involved with a couple of data analytics projects over there. And that actually led me to my next thing where I was able to work with CFOs across a bunch of different contractors, general contractors and specialty subcontractors. And while I was there, I ran into Kojo. We're actually called Agora Systems at the time. This was about 2 years ago, which the company was mainly focused on electrical contractors and streamlining their procurement processes.
That's crazy, but I had no idea that involves in the construction world. University of Michigan. So you're rooting for the University of Michigan right now?
Yeah. I would like to say, well, you know what? This next game is it's gonna be awesome. Somehow Alabama snuck in, and we get Alabama in the Rose Bowl, which is a historic game. So
Yeah.
I'm super pumped.
Awesome. All right. So we got Ryan here with us today because he's going to talk to us about the 7 steps of procurement. And this is one of the things that Kojo excels at and does a great job at. So he's going to talk about that. So we'll start at number 7 and we'll make our way down to number 1. So the number 7 steps of procurement. I'm dying to learn more about this. So I'm ready when you are.
I can take it away. Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, so we kind of went through this process just by working with their customers, and we identified these 7 steps, which are plan. So better planning your materials that you need to purchase for your different projects, sourcing the material from different vendors, actually purchasing the material, so cutting purchase orders, documenting that PO within your accounting system, and getting it out the door. Requesting, so a big thing that contractors, everyone has their own different processes, but a lot of the time the field has to request additional materials. It doesn't matter, how well you do in that estimating phase, no matter what. There's a foreman in the field, and he's either going directly to the vendors himself, or he's sending in an email or a text message to somebody in the office to actually purchase the material, or get quotes and eventually purchase it. So requesting is a very critical step, and that's step number 4. Step number 5 would be actually receiving in the field. So making sure that the material that was actually ordered actually received on the was actually received on the job site, and that is a critical step that so many contractors just don't have a good process for, because today what it looks like is somebody in the field, a foreman, or maybe it's a first-year apprentice, is actually doing the receiving, doesn't have the purchase order in front of him to receive against, and he's just holding on to a packing slip, and these packing slips stack up over time, and yeah, people end up losing them.
All right. And then what's number 6?
Number 6 is actually approving the invoice, right? And so probably the most important step out of all, because contractors want to make sure, and you have to do this, that you're only paying for the materials that actually show up to the job site.
And then number 7.
Number 7 is actually issuing the payment. So once you've approved your invoice, actually cutting that check and paying your vendor for the right material.
Now, the software now, is it web-based, app-based, something they could put on their computer, their tablet, their iPhone? What is it? What are some ways that you put this in the hands of the people out in the field?
Yeah. So a good way to think about Kojo. So we are a materials management platform. It's kind of a glorified way of saying that we are a purchasing platform that connects the fields and your office. And a good way to think about this system is that it actually sits on top of your system of record or your accounting system. So it is that interactive system that connects the field to your project managers or your centralized purchasing team, directly to vendors, so that all of these different people who are involved in procurement can communicate and validate that the material is actually showing up to the job site without people needing to be in your ERP, essentially. So it's to answer your question about is it web-based or app-based? It's actually both. So we do have a field app. The field app is basically like Amazon for construction, right? So it allows the field to basically put together a list of materials and fire it off and track that request over its life cycle, and then actually do the receiving the field, so that they can get packing slips and document critical delivery issues back to the office in real time.
You wonder how did people do this type of stuff before Kojo was around? Was it just like you said, they received the paper, the foreman stuffed it in their glove box, right? And then when it's come time to do, the foreman would go to the office once a week or once a month. He'd hand a stack of papers, right, to someone in the office and say, take care of it, right? And they had no idea what coming in, coming out, what was ordered. Do you have any like success stories of maybe someone that wasn't sure of the software, but then now uses it and believes in it like a religion almost, right?
Yeah, totally. So what it looks like for the most part is it's a lot of emails. It's a lot of paper packing slips, text messages. It's a lot of phone calls back and forth between the field and purchasing. If you have a centralized purchasing team, or if it's the responsibility of a project manager. So it's a lot of systems that are just not connected, and it ends up being a ton of time that's just wasted on, back and forth communication. A story I keep on hearing when I talk to contractors is there's a disconnect between the field and their product knowledge or material knowledge, and also sometimes the office. And that leads to a lot of just back and forth communication between whoever's responsible for placing that order and the field. And then if the wrong material is delivered to the job site, then you're left with material that either gets thrown away or it needs to go back to the warehouse for reuse, and it's a ton of time handling that material. So one big thing, and a story that jumps out to me is a contractor down in Phoenix, Arizona, and they had a small warehouse, which ended up accumulating a lot of materials over time, right? And I think they had like pretty close to like $500,000 worth of material that they accumulated in their warehouse. But the problem was that the fields, because they were on their own job sites or their own islands, if you will, they had no idea what was in the warehouse, what was already purchased and readily available. So oftentimes they would just like go to their local supply house and purchase what they need, but they weren't actually using what was already there in the warehouse that they could have used and actually saved a ton of money. And with Kojo, we've got a warehouse module that actually provides transparency to the fields without them needing to actually go to the office or the warehouse.
Wow.
So it's a huge game changer for contractors to, number one, reduce their material spend and actually spend it more efficiently. But then also, if you have excess materials in a warehouse, to enable your field teams to start using it.
It's crazy. Do you think that what size companies do you think would benefit from using Kojo? I mean, is it the mom and pop, mom's in the office, she's a secretary, dad's the guy on the field, and he's the guy that does everything, or is it something maybe some much bigger company would benefit from?
Yeah. It ends up being it's funny with all these contractors, big or small. The process for ordering material is pretty much the same. So if you're a large contractor that does over, maybe 250 million in revenue, chances are the processes for somebody in the field to request the right material it looks like emails, it looks like text messages, it looks like a bunch of phone calls, and it's a huge time suck.
Right.
Now, if you're a smaller contractor and you're doing a couple of million in revenue per year, it's pretty much the same as well, right? And it's actually more important for you as a smaller contractor to be able to kind of streamline your operations, right? So that your people, your lean machine of people out in the field and people in your office can streamline what they're doing on a day-to-day basis, so that they can focus on higher level activities.
What about what you said in the very beginning? You said you were kind of like a technology guy. I remember back in the day, many moons ago, when I worked for the railroad here in Boston, I worked in the warehouse, right? And I remember every day people would come and get things from the warehouse, whether it be a roll of toilet paper or something for a train, right? And I said to them, why don't we use like a software where you can track how many rolls you get coming in and out, and you would use the scanner and you just bloop the PC codes. And they thought I was insane. They said, they used to bring things in and look index cards. That's how you used to find things. You'd search O-ring, go to the O-ring drawer. O-ring number. And I still think to this day that I don't even think they're even doing like an active type of Now, the Kojo software, if I'm in the field and I look at my app and I say I got 46 rolls of whatever, and I go to the warehouse, I can go into the app, right, and take out 6 rolls, and it's an active, up to date inventory, correct?
Yeah, totally. With the warehouse, it makes it very easy to stay on track of current inventory, and then also notify the project team. So if you're an electrical contractor and you typically order materials that get shipped to the warehouse first before it goes out to the job site, right? You're staging it in your controlled environment before it actually goes out. Kojo does a couple of things like really well where it'll automatically update inventory quantities, but then notify the project teams, the project manager in the field, that their material showed up, right? So this is a system and that's one example where Kojo kind of like automates the communication and necessary communication between everybody involved in this materials handling process after the order has been issued to the vendor.
And I like the fact that you're local, right? Even not an ABC Mass member, but you're a local person, right? So if I had a question about the software, I'm not waiting until someone in California decides to crawl out of bed to answer my questions, right? If I send an email, I'm not waiting for Ryan West Coast time. It's noon time. I got a problem. It's at 9 o'clock in the morning. And I have a question about whatever. I mean, I can email. Ryan will get back to me pretty quick, rather than Ryan out in California is going to take him until noontime to get back to you because hasn't got out of bed yet.
Yeah, I'm lucky. Yeah,
yeah,
I get to I get to
it's
live and work in Boston remotely. Our company is fully remote, so we've got people on the East Coast, we've got people on the West Coast, in the middle of the country, and everyone who works at Kojo on our customer success team lives in the United States, and they're a full-time employee with Kojo. So yeah, our customer success team is pretty amazing at what they do.
And then as far as your ABC membership, we've seen you at quite a few events. Any events stand out that you think were a great event?
Oh yeah.
Uh,
I went to
did,
the
did you
the
play
end of
golf with us? Did you play golf? No.
no, I think I've got to when is that coming up? It's in the
Third
springtime.
third Thursday in June. It's every year.
Okay.
Third Thursday. It's like a date you got to put in your date book.
No, I definitely I'll definitely be there this year. I'm a little rusty with golf though. I gotta get out there a
Well,
couple
no
more
one,
times
no
before.
one asks. No one asks you if you're any good. No, just do you play golf? And you just say, "Yep, I play golf." Yep. Even just drive around the car for a while. The networking ability and chance to meet people and talk to people are fantastic. What is next for Kojo? If you could talk about it, what is next? Do you think? What are they? What's the next big thing? If you can talk about it.
Yeah, yeah. It's really exciting. Right now, so we are we are like the end-to-end platform for purchasing materials and handling them, and essentially making sure that you're only paying for the right materials, right? So we are releasing our payment module in at the beginning of 2024, which is super exciting because instead of actually going through the process of cutting checks on a weekly or maybe a monthly process, you can just click a button and pay your vendors, right then and there, which is super exciting. I think the other things are just, you know, artificial intelligence is like a big buzzword that's out there, but it's actually starting to um, apply to construction and impact construction in a way. And I think, as soon as we start leveraging the new technologies that's out there, especially for, the fields when they're putting together their list of materials, because let's be honest, like, if you're an electrical contractor, there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of different SKUs.
Yep.
So it's really tough, and to communicate well with maybe, a newer office employee and exactly what you need before that order goes out is difficult. And I think the one thing that I really appreciate about this platform is that it becomes It bridges that language barrier between, that old school guy in the field who's, he's been an electrician for 30 plus years, and that new kid who just started working for your company in the office.
So before we wrap it up and send it to the lightning round, if I was someone that's on the fence about using Kojo, what would you tell me? What would be your pitch to me?
Yeah, I think right now, like as you enter 2024, I think it's good to ask yourself, like, what are your priorities, and where are the things that you want to improve upon in your business? And I think some of the questions you can start asking yourself are like, do our project teams efficiently plan ahead? I think that's a good question to ask, and if not, then why? Another good question is, are we fully taking advantage of competitive pricing on the market,
Hmm.
right? And if not, why? It could be an issue with just time, right? This whole process of sourcing quotes and actually putting together purchase orders takes up a ton of time. If you're not using tools out there to help you do it and automate some of those processes, and you might be losing out on, being able to take advantage of the market. And then the big question would be, I think, are in your invoicing process or your AP process, when you're receiving invoices from all of your vendors, number one, like, what does that process look like, and is it manual? And then number two, are we often catching some issues on these invoices? And if so, why? And is there something that we can do about that, so that we're not paying invoices that we shouldn't be, right? Because if you're doing that, that's called fee erosion, right? Hurting your profitability across the board, and nobody likes that.
Right. All right. So if anybody wants to get a hold of you, Ryan, how do they do that?
Yeah. I think after this, I'll definitely provide my email address. It's ryan.gaiss at usekojo.com. And my contact should be somewhere in here, I'm sure.
So we'll throw it here somewhere.
Yeah, we'll put it over there.
And again, thanks a lot for being the presenting sponsor. It's going to be a great month. We're glad you were on board. Now we move on to the my favorite part of the podcast is the lightning round. Let's 10 rapid fire questions. We insert some lightning sound effects here and some thunder and lightning. Let's see. The zombie apocalypse is upon us. Who are 3 people you want on your team?
3 people I want on my team.
Yeah.
I can pick anybody.
Anybody you want. Pick it away.
Okay. I'm gonna pick my fiance Julia. She's coming with me.
Oh, all right.
I'm gonna pick my new puppy Henry. He's
Oh.
gonna come with me. And then let's see. I need somebody who's like, I don't know.
Anybody you want. Anybody you want.
I'll pick my brother.
All right, there you go.
He's gonna roll with me.
It's a killer team. All right. What is your most used emoji?
Oh man. Probably have to do the face emoji with like oh no. These are tough, man. These are really tough.
This is crazy. It's hard.
Probably like the emoji with like the tongue hanging out, like with one eye. Like that's
right.
I like to use that one.
If you had to delete all but 3 apps from your smartphone, which ones would you keep? 3 apps to keep on your phone. Which ones do you keep?
3 apps to keep on my phone. So I have to delete all of them. What was the question?
If you had to delete all the apps on your phone but 3, you can only keep 3 apps on your phone. What would they be?
Let me see. Well, I'm gonna keep Spotify. I'm gonna keep my messages, and I am keeping Um, got to keep my calendar on there.
All right, perfect. Let's see here. What is your favorite magical or mythological animal?
Oh my God.
See?
I guess a dragon. Huge Game of Thrones fan.
Oh, all right. Yeah, good.
Yeah,
Yep.
looking forward to the new House of Dragon season that's coming out sometime soon.
Which house do you feel yourself most associated with, do you think?
I'm definitely a Stark. I'm
Definitely
definitely a
Stark.
Stark. Yep.
The North remembers.
Yep.
The North remembers. Favorite breakfast food?
Oh, I've got to every single morning I make eggs and toast. So I've got to go with that.
If you had a time machine, would you go back in time or into the future?
I would go back in time.
Where would you
Yeah.
go? What time would you go to, you think?
I would go to, I've been super interested with like the 50s, 60s. I like that time period.
Yeah,
It's
you
pretty
could go
cool.
back and tell them about Kojo. Oh, you'd be
Yeah.
millionaire. Have you ever completed anything on your bucket list?
Oh yeah. Let's see. I'm a big traveler, so I love going on a trip. So I've been to Europe several times. Um, really want to go to South America. I think that would be my next trip.
If you could magically become fluent in any language, what would it be?
Oh, I took Russian in high school and I failed miserably. So I think maybe that, right? To redeem myself.
You play any instruments?
I do not know. I wish I did though.
Any hidden talents?
Um, I don't know. I like, I like going for hikes and stuff. That's not really a hidden
That's all
talent.
right.
But going outside and kind of exploring, and it's something that I like to do.
Then, if you could add one person to Mount Rushmore, who would it be?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. Well, that's a good one. And then, are you a coffee or tea person?
Coffee.
How do you like your coffee? Because with the Coffee Break podcast, we like, I don't know how you like your coffee. Where do you get your coffee
Straight
from?
black.
Straight black. Oh, a lot of black. A lot of people drink it black.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
Can't do that to myself. All right.
Yeah.
So that's our friend Ryan Gaiss, account executive from our presenting sponsor for the month, Kojo. Thanks to him for being on. Thanks for sponsoring. And if you need anything from him, reach out. Thanks, Ryan.
All right.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Michael.
Appreciate it. Thanks to Ryan Gaiss for coming on the podcast. It was a few months in the making. We were actually back and forth with some scheduling conflicts, but we actually got him on. It was great to have him on. And it's even better when his company Kojo sponsors being the presenting sponsor for the month. So thanks to him for being on. And I know that we're getting ready to end the year here. Not a lot going on, but lots going on after the first of the year. So what do you have, Allison?
Yeah, we have a lot going on in January. So just to finish out the month, we do have a sprinkler fitter prep for exam on December 16th. But then going into the new year, we have a brand new class that we have not run yet. It's called Mental Health First Aid. And we actually interviewed Harry Carlson, who is the instructor for this, on the podcast, which is going to be coming out in the next few weeks. So stay tuned for that. But this is going to be on January 9th and 10th. It's a really, really great class just to help really anyone in any profession on any level to help understand your coworkers and the people that are your employees a little bit better if they're going through a mental health crisis. Helps you to be able to recognize those signs, and also to be able to help someone in the moment to be able to get them to some help that they might need. So that's going to be a really great class for especially HR professionals too. So definitely check that out. And if you have questions, reach out to us for that. Then we have a HasWhopper 40-hour class that we're running January 10th, 17th, 24th, 31st, and February 7th. It's a lot of hours, so it's going to be 5 different sessions to break that up. So definitely check that class out if you do not have your HasWhopper 40-hour. And then January 13th, we're going to have a Hoist 1C2A prep for exam class. So if you are looking to take that exam in January or February, definitely sign up for that to get your prep there. And then for our sheet metal people, sheet metal prep for exam is going to be on January 20th from 8 to 12. All of those classes are going to be at the ABC GCI Woburn office. You can check out all of those and the classes that we have through May 2024 at gwgci.org/events.
All right, now comes everybody's favorite part of the podcast. It's time for the news. This week's weekly update sponsored by Kenny and Sam's and Patriot Benefit Services. Last week we had the ABC Massachusetts Holiday Open House. Congratulations to the folks who are at Medford Wellington. They won the pizza oven and the TV that was brought to us by the folks at Nissan 24. Thanks to everybody that brought a blanket for the Mission of Deeds.
So many
Blanket
blankets. We have
Yeah, it was-
so many blankets. That box was overflowing with blankets
Yes.
and they looked comfy and huge. So thank you to everybody who donated.
I mean, it's just nice to see everybody, in person at an event. It was fantastic to see
It was
everybody.
so much fun.
It was so much fun.
Flew by.
Great food. Good time. And then coming up here, some member updates. We've got Rudolph Friedman LLP leads list of December member anniversaries. They've been around ABC Massachusetts for 34 years. Managing partner Jim Rudolph is also a two-time chairman of the chapter, which is congratulations to them. 4 other members have milestone anniversaries in December, including Noise Sheet Metal of Milford and Weymouth's Enterprise Equipment Incorporated, both of which are marking 25 years as members. Congratulations to them. New Age Electrical Services of Acton has been a member for 20 years. And K&M Communications Corporation of Northeastern marks 10 years of membership. Congratulations to all of them. And we are excited to announce that Callahan and RCL Mechanical have make Boston Globe's list of top places to work. Congratulations to Mark Mason over there at RCL Mechanical. He was a sponsor of the podcast. It's nice to see that, as well as Callahan Construction Managers. And as always, if you want to be on the podcast, reach out to me, Mike, at gwgci.org. And all this information can be found on your weekly newsletter that goes out, coming from communications at abcma.org. All right, so this is episode 102. Thanks to Kojo very much for being with us. I'm going to tag, share, follow. We are on YouTube. Lots going on. We're going to have episodes all the way through the end of the year, so stay tuned. And we got lots of great stuff planned for 2024. Talk to you next week.
Attention passengers, we've now reached our destination. We hope you enjoyed the flight and have a nice day.